Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. Sorry about the background noise. My nephew's really throwing a fit right now. So I'm sorry that you have to hear that. So pretty much I'm returning to you for Anberlin's new record, Vega. He's actually getting some, my nephew's getting some, like, some blue or whatever on him. So he's kind of itching himself for some odd reason so much. So that's probably why, but I don't know for sure. But still, don't mind that if you hear that background screaming. It's just he's throwing a fit. So pretty much, I'm going to discuss what I listened to for Anberlin's new record, Vega. The new record that they decided to drop. Well, Matty Mullins was part of the band, so was Stefan, or Steven, I believe his name is. But I'll let you know what I thought of all 12 tracks of what I listened to. So let's dive into this album review. Now, some of the songs I've already heard, like Animals was the opening track, and that was a strong track. Steven's vocals, or Stefan's vocals, if I'm pronouncing it right. But pretty much with what I listened to with this song, Animals, it was a great track. I like Steven's vocals in this track, if I'm pronouncing it right. It sounds really good, and basically the overall execution of this track flowed very well. The melody's pretty interesting, but I think Steven's screaming vocals, like yelling vocals, sound pretty good with his aggressive tone and how he's singing it. It sounds very good, so I did enjoy this track, and it was a favorite of mine. The first track is the best opening track, 5 out of 5. 7 was actually really good. I think Matty Mullins was singing this track. He only was in 2 songs for this record. That's what I found disappointing about this record, but I didn't hate this album at all. It was still a strong record. But overall, 7 was a great track from this record. I really love this song, and it's a fantastic track, 5 out of 5. For 5 minutes and 8 seconds, you're in for a banger. Circles is with Steven in the track. And give me a second, I gotta pause the video. Sorry about that, guys. My mom was calling me on my cell phone for a second, so pretty much Circles was a great track too. I really dig this track, so 5 out of 5. Steven's vocals sound really amazing in this track, so I recommend checking this song out to see what you think of it. Lacerate is the 4th track, and that is a pretty strong track. Even Steven's vocals sounded amazing in this track, and I really enjoyed how this track overall sounded with what I listened to. With the melody, with the drum work, guitar work, and Steven's vocals work perfectly with this track, 5 out of 5. Banshee was a more melodic song, but it still was a strong track for what it went for, so this is a 5 out of 5 as well. I did dig this song, and I did enjoy how the overall execution of this track flowed. So this is a great song to definitely check out to see what you think of it. It's not one of the best, but it is a strong track in its own way, so it's a 5 out of 5. Nothing Lost was actually an interesting track. I like the melody to it. It sounds really interesting of a listen and a little haunting from time to time, but it sounds really good. So this is a 5 out of 5. Then we get Walk Alone with Matty Mullins singing vocals in this track. Great track. One of the best songs of June 2024 that I listened to, but it's still an amazing song from what I gathered. And overall, I think this track flowed very well, and a great Anberlin track from what I listened to. 5 out of 5. One of the best songs of June 2024 last month, or 2 months ago technically, almost 2 months ago, but it was a great song. Two Graves was pretty interesting of a track. Steven's vocals are really amazing in this track, and I really dig the melody, I dig the drum work and guitar work, and overall execution was pretty good, mixing and production. 5 out of 5. Decoder, I wasn't sure if I was going to get used to this track, but I'd give it a 4.75 out of 5. It's not a terrible track, it's pretty good in its own way, but I think it has some weak tendencies with how Steven's singing the track from time to time. So this one is a 4.75 out of 5. Asking's going to get another 4.75 out of 5. I don't know, this one felt a little melodic. It wasn't terrible in any way, but it wasn't bad. But it still sounded alright for what it went for with Steven's vocals, and melody-wise, it's tolerable of a listen. 4.75 out of 5. Body Language is a melodic song. It's very mellow. For 5 minutes and 23 seconds, you're in for a very mellow track, along with the next song, which I will be talking about nothing more in a second. But overall, it sounded very soothing of a track, but execution-wise, it performed good in its own way, so 4.75 out of 5. And then finally, you get to Nothing More, the closing track, which is almost an 8-minute song, and it is very lengthy, but it is pretty good in its own way. It's nice, it sounds soothing of a track to close the record, but overall, execution-wise, it's fine for what it goes for. So 4.75 out of 5. Some of these songs that were on previous compilation records and all that of Anberlin's discography, but overall, production, mixing, execution wise, I think this whole album worked for what it went for. It's a favorite album of mine for this upcoming Friday's release. I'm not sure if I'm really connecting with the last 4 songs very well, but I think they're fine for what they go for. But for what it is, it's a really good album, and I recommend you check this record out, Vega. It comes out at midnight tonight. So, first score for me, I'd give Anberlin Vega, the 2024 record. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It's a really strong record. Definitely interesting. It's what I found disappointing is I thought there'd be more Matty Mullen tracks, but it's only 2 songs with Matty Mullins in it, Walk Alone and 7. So that's gonna probably be the most disappointing aspect of the record. But even Steven's vocals through majority of this record are still pretty strong for how they sound. Steven Christian. His vocals sound really good in this record. And even Matty Mullins made the song 7 and Walk Alone sound really amazing. Because those were the only 2 songs they were gonna, I guess, add to the record. But it still worked. This record did work for what it went for. So, 9 out of 10 for Anberlin's new record, Vega. I hope you enjoyed this album review today, and thanks for watching.